You know what struck me, like watching the games that produced the Super Bowl pairing is damn, this is hard. This is hard to do. It's hard to get there. And when we were talking before, you're talking about, like what's going to be different for the Buffalo Bills next year. I almost feel like there's 6 teams you could throw them in a bag and pull one out. And like the Bills are going to get it when it's their time, and that they only have a certain amount of control over it.
Well, you mentioned that the key word there is time. And I know a lot of people like to throw in there, their window is closed, it's over. I'm like, it's not. I've seen teams you've been this sort of buried and dead and come back resurrection. So I'm not willing to do that to the Bills fans going forward. But I am concerned, just like I've been concerned the last few years, that the window is closing. I'm not sure what to make of this. I mean, we'll talk a little bit later on about their coaching decisions and McDermott giving him more power with the results he's already got. I don't see how you do that, but I get it. You've already invested in him by giving him a new contract last year, so now you got to double down on that. I'm not quite sure what to go into the offseason thinking about, but I am thinking about the draft.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to that. Actually, that's a good thing. Again, it's hard, right?
Well, I mean, it's just weird, right? Like, it's really strange to me. Like, I think something's wrong with my head because, like, 2 years ago, we had this conversation about how the Bills' window was closing and they're not going to get back. And then, it was over. And then last year, we had this conversation about how the window was closing and, like, you got coordinators leaving. And, right, the win under on loss was 10.5. And then they were the second seed this season. Are you guys kidding me right now with all this?
No, we're not.
The team is going to get younger, and that's a good thing for the Bills. This season, as the rookies and second and third-year players were inserted, the team got stronger. You got to hit on a couple of draft picks this year. You have talent. The weight you're losing on this team is going to take an adjustment, but I think it benefits in the long run. And here's the fact of the matter. As long as Josh Allen is your quarterback, your window is never closed.
Right. And that's a given. But you can't argue that the salary cap situation is a plus.
I don't believe in this. Oh, what are you talking about? When it comes to Kansas City?
They're over it.
Yes, no, I understand. But you realize the salary cap is not real because Brandon Beane is going to take 3 contracts, whether it's Dawson Knox, Ed Oliver, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
But it is real.
But it's not. I mean, look, you'll pay for it at the end when they decide, all right, we're going to break this whole thing down. But you don't have to pay for it until you decide we're going to shut this thing down. Mark my words. Sure, they're not going to go out and sign a splashy free agent. How many times have I said mark my words and come through? Better watch it.
That was
Better
in
be careful.
2023. We're in 2024 now. That year is over with.
You guys told me they weren't going to hit 10 wins. You guys told me they had no chance of making the playoffs. You guys told me they had no chance of winning the division.
I never said no chance. I said it's slipping.
Brandon Beane is a great general manager. I am not worried about the cap situation.
Although, let me just say that, can we go back to the revisionist history? Towards the end of the Buffalo Bills season, they were about a 500 team. They went on an incredible run, got a great call in Kansas City. It was the right call. I'm not trying to debate it, but it was a call, you know full well, that has been discussed since then as a lucky break that finally went the Buffalo Bills' way. Relax, take it easy. And let's go over the fact that you did get rid of an offensive coordinator who came in and gave more plays to Josh Allen. They resulted in great offense. Same thing with running the football. Same thing I have to admit on that one. But let's be real and honest here. You haven't gotten over the hump yet. And there's got to be some internal reason or concern about doubling down again for the Bills next season with the cap issue.
So what do? You don't have the cap space to go make major changes. You're not going to fire your head coach. He's the reason you've been here the whole time.
But you can't say that and at the same time say that the window isn't a little smaller next year than it was
by the way,
smaller than it was the year before.
And by the way, still beat Miami. They took it to the last game of the season to do so. You did get the number 1 seed. Still didn't benefit you going against Kansas City. So I don't know what
we got a lot of time. Because we got a long off season, we can cover all these things.
Like, do I every week now have to say save the tape? So when the Bills have a 2-game lead in week 16 next season, and they're looking at the 1 or the 2 seed, I can look and say, I told you guys so.
But of all the elite teams, they're the only one that hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl yet. The Eagles got it. The Niners, Chiefs, Bengals have all been.
You don't consider Baltimore elite?
Okay,
but there you go. You're an MVP, Lamar Jackson, a soon-to-be 2-time MVP, who also hasn't gotten there.
But it wasn't last year.
Okay.
This was a 1-year shot for Baltimore.
You said it yourself. 6 teams in a bag, pull one out depending on how bounces go. I believe the same thing.
And the Bills' name is the one that hasn't come up yet.
Give it time.
It's supposed to be a down year for KC, yet they're in the Super Bowl.
All right, we're way over that segment.